Ladies and gentlemen, it is actually a sad day to see what is going on within the MAGA movement. See, we are a united movement. We are in interest of securing the border, great economy, deporting every single illegal immigrant. But something is going on that I cannot just stand by and watch. You know, a lot of people are leaving Trump, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Alex Jones. Republicans are burning their MAGA hats, their Trump flags. But I'm going to tell you this before we get into it. I'm going to stand with the man that I voted for 3 times. I'm going to stand with the man whose home was raided. I'm going to stand with the man who got shot in the ear on stage in front of the whole world. They tried to murder him. I'm going to stand with the man that won the election, that looks out for our best interests, that wants to make America great again. And we're about to dive really deep into this issue. Ladies and gentlemen, the House Republicans and Democrats together voted. They just voted this morning to release all the Epstein files. So hopefully everything gets released. But in it, there's a massive trap for the Democrats. The Democrats are screwed. They wanted the Epstein files. Well, guess what? What Trump and his DOJ have been doing for the last couple days is absolutely amazing. They are destroying the Democrats in their own traps. See, the Bible tells us, be careful when you lay traps for others or dig ditches for others to fall into, because you'll fall into it yourself. And the Democrats are absolutely screwed. And I believe when this is done and over with, MAGA will be stronger and more united than ever before. Do me a huge favor, smash that thumbs up. Subscribe, leave me a comment. Where are you tuning in from today? And really quickly, give me just 20 seconds to shout out today's sponsor. That is Verity Metals. Gold, silver, platinum to protect IRAs, 401ks, and everything in between. Verity Metals is the company for you. They're patriots, people of faith, and Trump supporters. They believe in constitutional, biblical money, gold and silver. Call or text 888-328-6105. Tell them Vlad sent you for additional metals. Links are down below in the description. Thank you. Check this out. From here, I'm gonna show you a few clips, and we're gonna break it all down. Now, here is what Alex Jones had to say.
But she was right to tell Trump in the last 10 months, publicly and privately, listen, you got to just say release it all. We know you're not in there. We know they've got a few things they can claim are embarrassing or spin, but just let it come out. And Trump's response is to her and to us on air, if you don't like it, you're not MAGA. Well, Mr. President, you just did a 180, and you've done them on this before, and I know why you did. And I told you they'd turn around and stab you in the back. But this is an example for everything else going on in our government.
Leading a frontal assault.
Now, he's saying that Marjorie Taylor Greene was right. This should have happened. Listen to this. This was the loudest Democrat screaming to release the files. She was actually texting Jeffrey Epstein in 2019 during a hearing. How do we take down Trump?
Resolution 888, censoring and condemning Delegate Stacey Plaskett and removing her from the House Permanent Select Committee.
So Stacey Plaskett in 2019, during a congressional hearing about Jeffrey Epstein and how much of a bad guy he was actually texting Jeffrey Epstein, and he was telling her what to say, what questions to ask to get Trump. Now she's about to get destroyed.
Committee on Intelligence for conduct that reflects the discredibility on the House of Representatives for colluding with convicted felon and offender Jeffrey Epstein during a congressional hearing. Whereas Stacey Plaskett, the delegate representing the United States Virgin Islands in the House of Representatives, inappropriately coordinated in real time with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein in a congressional hearing in February of 2019. Whereas Delegate Plaskett was actively coached by Epstein during the hearing, receiving instructions on specific lines of questioning, and was congratulated after the message by Mr. Epstein, good work. Whereas Jeffrey Epstein, the Speaker of the House is not in order.
The gentleman has the floor. The chair would again ask the body.
Democrats don't like hearing, hearing the truth.
To please observe the quorum and keep conversations to a minimum. The gentleman has the floor.
Whereas Jeffrey Epstein was a known convicted felony sex offender, having pled guilty and been convicted for procuring a child for prostitution and solicitation, a proselyte in a plea deal in 2008, and served a 13-month prison sentence.
So this is what the text message from Stacey Plaskett, an email, was sent. We don't know who was sent to, but the email, we do have it, and it's right there. It says, "Good morning, Leslie. If you would share this invitation with Jeffrey," meaning Epstein, "I'd be much appreciative. I would be grateful for his support, the support of those that he may direct to assist me. I'll be in New York City the Thursday of the event through the weekend. Thanks again, Stacey." Stacey Plaskett sent this in July 12th of 2018. So she was texting Jeffrey Epstein's friends saying, "Hey, can you tell Jeffrey I'd love his support. I'd love his financial help." Now, here's another great one from this morning. Unbelievable. Democrats are becoming panicked now that the truth about their connections are being exposed. In 2013, well after Epstein's conviction, Hakeem Jeffrey's campaign solicited money from Jeffrey Epstein.
With the colleagues' coordination with Epstein. Another email shows Democrat fundraisers invited Epstein to an event or to meet privately with Hakeem Jeffries as part of their 2013 effort to win a majority. So Hakeem Jeffries' campaign solicited money from Jeffrey Epstein. That's what we found in the last document batch. The files underscore why former President Trump must appear for his deposition. We've subpoenaed him. To date, the Democrats have done nothing to help us secure his appearance. I support full transparency. The Oversight Committee will continue to work to get the truth to the American people and to get justice for the victims. That's our goal of this investigation. With that, I yield back.
The gentleman yields back.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker.
So the Clintons are not coming to the deposition. They're refusing. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, smash a thumbs up, please. It helps with the algorithm. Now, I want to point out how the fake news is working with the Democrats to spread propaganda. Jeffrey Epstein's brother says that Jeffrey Epstein had dirt on Trump. Well, if they had dirt, why didn't the Democrats release that dirt leading up to the 2024 presidential election and stop Trump? If the Democrats truly had what they say they have against President Donald Trump when it comes to the whole Epstein shenanigans, they would have released it leading up to 2024 to stop him, but they didn't. Listen to Jeffrey Epstein's brother on News Nation.
Okay. And I get it. You don't want to talk about it. It was a private back and forth with your brother. Fine. But it is being used as proof that your brother had compromised information about Donald Trump. Is that what you are referring to? And is that what you suspect?
No, Jeffrey, in 2016, I said this publicly before. Jeffrey told me that if he said what he knew about the candidates, they'd have to cancel the election. He didn't tell me what he knew, but Jeffrey definitely had dirt on Trump. And you could see in the emails, Trump could deny it all he wants, but it's pretty clear. I mean, everything Trump says is a lie.
But that's not what you were talking about.
It's provable that he was in Jeffrey's office. He said he wasn't in the house. It's provable he was there. He said everything he says is a lie.
But that's not what you were talking about in the text thread. You don't know of any information that he had.
I'm not discussing that email.
Did you know or ever see?
You know why he doesn't want to discuss that email? Because I believe that the email was altered. I believe that email is fake. And when everything comes out, he doesn't want to talk about that email right now on live TV or to anybody, because then he's going to be held accountable for his lies. Because if you, Epstein's brother, really had dirt on Trump, because you say you hate Trump, many times you've come out and said you don't like Trump, you're against Trump, you yourself would have come out and spoken out against Trump leading up to the 2024 election.
Any evidence that your brother had against Trump? Did you ever see any or hear any?
Just he told me he had it. He wouldn't tell me that if it wasn't true.
And how do you explain that it never came out and that Ghislaine Maxwell has never talked about it?
Well, yeah, she got a pretty sweet deal, you know?
She's in prison.
By the way, I see comments. People are saying Marjorie Taylor Greene is not leaving MAGA. Yes, she is. Trump dropped his endorsement, said he's not endorsing her, called her a traitor. Marjorie Traitor Greene is what Trump is now calling her. And I'm going to play you what she said about Trump. It is absolutely disgusting. Once this video's over, don't leave. You're going to hear the most disgusting things anybody's almost ever said about Trump from the mouth of Marjorie Taylor Greene.
I'm not trying to hurt Ghislaine, but you know, one of the things I found interesting in the testimony is when she was asked about other people. You know, she said they were involved, they didn't do anything. But when she was asked about Trump, she went on at length about he was always a gentleman, he's always professional. And I said, why is he getting this special treatment of exoneration? And the other people, she just said, well, they didn't do anything. So, you know, even her lawyer said they cut the deal. So that's why I believe she said those things. Okay.
Did you know that your brother?
Now, check this out.
Okay.
3 days ago, I want to pull something up really quickly for you guys. This is a live show, so this just comes off the spur. Democrats vote against releasing of the Epstein files. Check this out really quickly. We're going to come back to the screen. Who knows that 4 days ago, Democrats voted, here we go, voted and blocked Republicans from releasing the Epstein files. Democrats block GOP efforts. Come on, these pop-ups. GOP efforts to fast-track vote on Epstein files to keep the issue alive longer. The Democrats are the number one obstacle to the release of the Epstein files. They didn't release them under Biden, and now the stuff that they're releasing is fake. Whoever this Henry Zoom is, dude, go on CNN. CNN even reported. They were shocked. They're like, why are Democrats stopping the release? Why didn't the Democrats release this crap under Biden? You know why? Because when everything released, we're really going to know why Bill Clinton was wearing a blue dress in a painting on Clinton's Island. When everything's released, we're going to find out about Obama, the crack cocaine, and the dudes he used to blow in the back of the limo. When everything's released, we're going to know about Joe Biden and the showers that he took with his daughter, Ashley. And then in her diary a decade later, she's like, I was a child, so I didn't understand. But now I think my own father, the molest word me. When everything is released, here's what we're going to find out. We're going to find out that Trump likes women. We know he's banged a lot of chicks. But about kids, nothing. Because if they truly had that, they would release it. Even Jeffrey Epstein's victims, I believe 14 of them, were asked, did Trump ever do anything bad to you? Everyone had the same answer. No, but Clinton did. Obama did. I mean, you guys are the party of men and women's dresses. You guys are the party of castrating and mutilating minors. You guys are the party of drag shows at public libraries for minors and toddlers. You guys are the party of walking around naked at your pride parade in front of children. You want to talk about morals? Morals? When we found out that Joe Biden is suffering cancer, go on my ex. I said, I don't like the guy, but I pray for a fast and good recovery. When Charlie Kirk gets murdered by a trans ideologist, you celebrated. Don't ever lecture us, demon rats. Listen to some of this most disgusting stuff from Marjorie Taylor Greene today.
Are sick of, and rightfully so. Now, where does this go from here? The question will remain, will the Department of Justice release all the information? Will a judge in New York release the information? Will the CIA release the information? And will foreign governments release their information? Or will this continue after this vote today be a cover-up? A cover-up of the rich, powerful elites that bond together in sex and human trafficking abuse and all types of global business that enriches them but never serves Americans. The American people will know, and the victims, actually the survivors of Jeffrey Epstein, will know because they know the list of names. And I remain dedicated to my promise to read those names here on the House floor if those women ever find them in a place that it needs to be done. I yield back to Mr.
Gentlelady from Georgia yields back. Gentleman from
those soft jabs. And I want to say this. Who remembers it was about 2-3 months ago when Democrats brought almost like 20-something Epstein victims in front of Congress? They held a huge media event, and the Democrats, along with the Epstein victims, said, we're putting our own list together and we're going to release it. You know what happened to that list and why it never came out? Because the Democrats are like, okay, go. And they're like Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, Biden, all these Democrats, Hakeem Jeffries, because Hakeem Jeffries asked Epstein to come to his event and endorse him in 2013. And then the Democrats are like, but we don't see Trump on the list. And they're like, well, did he molest you? No. What about you? No. So Trump's not on the list? And that's how the Epstein's victims, with the Democrats' collusion to make and release their own list, never came to pass because Trump's not on there. That's it, baby. That's how we smack them. Now, here, where was this? I shared this. Marjorie Taylor Greene. Where there's this great video just now. Okay. Here's what else she said this morning. I gave my loyalty for free. I never owed him anything. He called me a traitor. Let me tell you what a traitor is. An American that serves foreign countries and themselves. She's talking about Trump.
That's what we did by fighting so hard against the most powerful people in the world, even the President of the United States, in order to make this vote happen today. I was called a traitor by a man that I fought for 6 years for. And I gave him my loyalty for free. I won my first election without his endorsement, beating 8 men in a primary. And I've never owed him anything, but I fought for him for the policies and for America first. And he called me a traitor for standing with these women and refusing to take my name off the discharge petition. Let me tell you what a traitor is. A traitor is an American that serves foreign countries and themselves. A patriot is an American that serves the United States of America and Americans like the women standing behind me. And I want to tell you that this only became possible today because the American people, whom we serve as representatives here in Congress, demanded that this vote happen, and they put more pressure on every single elected politician in this city than has ever been put on them. And today you are going to see probably a unanimous vote in the House to release the Epstein files, but the fight, the real fight, will happen after that. And that's
Now, watch this. Yesterday, Chuck Schumer, the sniffler, the diddler, was asked, hey, Chuck, why didn't the Democrats release the Epstein files if there's so much dirt against Trump under the 4 years of the Biden administration? Listen to his idiotic response.
Okay. Senator, on that note, just I guess a question that's out there. Why wouldn't they have been released the last 4 years when President Biden was in office?
Well, that's the question every American is asking.
Yes, that is the question every American is asking.
President Biden was in office.
Well, that's the question every American is asking. Not every American, but so many Americans are asking. What the hell is he hiding? Why doesn't he want them released?
Yeah, what the hell is Biden hiding? What's Biden hiding?
Republicans are calling for the release. His own party members. People ask the question, what's he hiding? It's got to be answered by releasing the files. Okay.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, can I be real with you? Can I be completely, totally, 100% transparent with you? Can I speak from my heart? And maybe there's going to be some stuff that will not be super great. It's not gonna, but I am gonna toe the party lines here. But first, I want to show you this. Who remembers this guy who works for Pam Bondi's DOJ, who just 2 months ago said that Pam Bondi is going to take every Republican out of the files before they're released?
Well, those files do exist.
Yeah, thousands and thousands of pages of files. They'll redact every.
This was released by James O'Keefe, Undercover Media, with OMG Media. This guy is the acting deputy chief office of enforcement operations, DOJ, Joseph Schnitt.
Republican or conservative person in those files. Leave all the liberal, Democratic people in those files.
I think they visited that Maxwell person.
Tina, I really want to get to this question. How can they release everything and protect the innocent at the same time? If you release everything, I believe it will actually say, well, this person just ran into Jeffrey Epstein at the party, right? If you only ran into him, shook his hand, or just did business transactions with him and you didn't know what kind of life he lived in the background, there's nothing to worry about. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
And also in that,
got transferred to a minimum security prison too recently, which is against BOP policy because she's a convicted sex offender. They're offering her something to keep her option.
what do you do for work here?
Work for the Department of Justice.
Okay.
Been there like 23 years. I'm an analyst. I'll be acting deputy chief of our office for a few months starting next week. I work closely with like all the federal law enforcement agencies, and the U.S. attorney's offices, the prosecutors and stuff. The thing is, it's interesting because I do deal with so many of the agencies, like the Bureau of Prisons, the Marshal Service, the FBI, U.S. attorney's offices.
It's like, are those files?
Okay. Here's the thing. I'm going to say something. Maybe someone doesn't like it. If my favorite president is on those files, like the Democrats say that he has released them, prove it, I will stop supporting him. Until then, you guys are liars. And I will put money, you will never release that. Now, did he sleep with a lot of women? Yes. He openly says that. It's no knowledge. He likes women. Plus, a man as rich as him, I don't know. I've never been that rich and that famous, so I don't know how I would live in that kind of position. I am a man of faith. I am loyal to my wife and my 4 daughters. But I'm telling you this, the Democrats are playing a hoax. Ladies and gentlemen, 1 minute and we're wrapping this up. Number 1, pray. Pray for the spirit of knowledge, counsel, understanding, and might to fall upon Donald Trump and his administration. To do the right thing, but not just the right thing, the correct thing. if this is not handled correctly, this could break the MAGA movement. After January 6th, when nearly half of Republicans in Congress and in Senate, whom Trump got into that Oval Office, turned their backs on him. Do you guys remember that after January 6th, Lindsey Graham voted to impeach Donald Trump? Do you remember that famous video of Lindsey Graham at the airport calling Trump a traitor on January 7th, 2021? The very same day that Trump denounced Marjorie Taylor Greene is the same day that Trump posted a picture of him and Lindsey Graham playing golf. Marjorie Taylor Greene, after January 6th, fought for Trump. She voted against impeaching Trump. I'm against the way Marjorie Taylor Greene is reacting to the situation. I'm very much against the way she's moving forward with the situation. I don't like how some of the stuff she says, but I'll tell you this. Marjorie Taylor Greene, through January 6th, through the raids, through everything, she stood with Trump. Lindsey Graham did not back Trump until he won the primary leading up to 2024, but Trump gives him a full endorsement. Lindsey Graham wants us to go to war with Russia. Mark Levin, whom Trump now, is always posting, go watch a show. Who remembers how Mark Levin treated Trump leading up to 2016 and 2020? He called him a Nazi, a fascist. He said he's an ever-Trumper. Now Mark Levin is like, Trump is posting his stuff all the time. And so I see these people who were not originally with Trump, who hated Trump, who told us not to vote for Trump back in 2016 and even in 2020, are now some of the closest allies of President Donald Trump. And those who were with him when it ruined your credibility, right? Because the Democrats were deleting you off social media and canceling you and blocking you and doing all these stuff, trying to put you in prison. She was with Trump. It breaks my heart that it got to this. Really, it does. And like, Elon Musk, I remember, and again, I can't wait till all the files are released so that the truth is out and Trump can say, I told you so. But I just keep remembering the tweet that, the last tweet that Elon Musk posted before walking out of that Oval Office. He said the reason Trump has not released the Epstein files is because he's in them. Well, Elon Musk, who told you to say that? My question is this: if Trump is in those Epstein files, like you say, Elon Musk, then why did you come up, shake his hand, hug him, and call him your president at Charlie Kirk's memorial? If Trump was really in those Epstein files and you saw it with your own eyes, Mr. Elon Musk, how could you then go up, shake hands, hug, and call a guy who's supposed to be a pedo, according to you? How could you call him your president? Who told you to say that? Or did you say it out of emotion? Or were you threatened to say that? There's all these questions, right? But I'll tell you this and I'll put money on the line. When everything comes out, we're going to find out that Trump likes women, but never did anything with kids. And what else we're going to find out? Bill Clinton, his obsession with minors. Joe Biden, his obsession not just with minors, but they also got to be blood related. We're going to find out Obama and about the crack cocaine and the dudes he used to blow in the back of limos. We're going to learn all of that. We're going to get to the truth, ladies and gentlemen. I'll tell you this. As iron sharpens iron, this is what's happening. MAGA and America First conservative movement, it's either going to break under pressure or we are just going to get stronger. We're going to weed out the traitors, the communists, the Democrats. I mean, and what's funny to me is how the Democrats are like, oh, look at you guys. You guys literally put men in women's dresses. You guys believe that a man in a dress is a woman with a schlong that's 10 feet long. Come on. You guys literally like a woman will dress as a man and you're like, oh, look at that dude. You guys mutilate girls and castrate little boys. You put trannies in front of 2-year-olds at your private parades. Dudes walk around naked with their schlinglong going back and forth in front of minors. My president, yeah, he was a womanizer when he was younger. Your president molested Ashley, his own daughter, when she was 7. He took a shower with her. And it's not in the Epstein files. She wrote it herself in her notebook. We're not even going to talk about Big Mike. So if you Democrats want to give us a moral lecture, you push men and women's dresses on children. You give hormone blockers to minors. You allow a man who's mentally unwell and thinks he's a woman to go into women's sports and beat the brakes out of women. And then you say you care about women? Save me your speeches. All right? None of you cared when Ashley Biden came out and said, my father, Jojo the potato, took showers with me when I was 7 and touched me inappropriately, but I was too young to understand what was happening. None of you Democrats called out Joe Biden when the laptop from hell was released, and there were pictures of Joe, Hunter, and a bunch of minors. So it was a daddy-son party. They swing that way. None of you said a word when a gay prostitute came forward and said, Obama was my #1 guy. I was like, he would come and get me at least 3 times a week. We'd smoke crack. He'd blow me down and pay me some money. None of you cared. When the poster of Bill Clinton in a blue dress out at Jeffrey Epstein's island was found on the wall, none of you cared. The fact that Bill and Hillary Clinton refused last month to come into Congress for a congressional hearing on Jeffrey Epstein and testify and answer questions under oath. They lawyered up and they said, we're not going. And they're fighting this thing like their life depends on it. None of you care. So please save me your moral talks. Settle down there, cupcakes. You put men and women's clothing and think it's a woman. So here's the thing. At the end of the day, yes, I got questions. We're going to see what happens. But I know for a fact right now that Obama blew down men, Biden with his daughter, Bill Clinton on the island. You put men in women's clothing. You have drag show hour for 2-year-olds. And what are you guys now calling molesters? Minor attracted persons. It's normal. They're just born that way. You guys were the ones who tried to make pedophilia normal last 4 years. Who remembers that? There were congressional hearings where the Democrats would invite these freaks who would push minor attracted persons. They're just born that way. Don't punish them for being how they were born. Cut it out. Stop with the whole, lectures. We're going to get to the bottom of this. We're going to figure it out. But you are not going to be the ones lecturing us. Freaks. I mean, come on. I'm going to end it with this. If under Joe Biden, the Democrats tried to make pedophiles normal by calling them minor attracted persons. They're born that way. They should live in society with us. They're okay. Oh, and the Biden administration pushed to legalize sex blow-up dolls that represent minors and babies. So a minor attracted pedo could order a blow-up doll that's like a child. So don't give me your lectures. You guys are godless. You guys are sickos. We're out. Ladies and gentlemen, God bless you. I got to get rolling. Share the link with a couple friends. Expose the libs. I'll see you soon.